All right, officially dog days. We're going to keep calling it that. It's July 25th. July's almost gone. Today we're talking about Ford slipping, Stellantis driving off of a little cliff, GM buying back some EVs, and Southwest letting you pick your seat.
No.
We're going to talk. We have thoughts on that. I don't want to get all the thoughts out or any of the thoughts out right now.
Don't get
we'll
the
save
thoughts
that one
out,
for the end.
Just know the end is going to have some opinions if you stick around to the end.
Kyle's an OG Southwest adopter, and I am a late Southwest adopter, so we have opposite experiences on Southwest. Hey, we want to let everybody know, and this is a fun one. If you haven't yet, head over to ASOTUCON.com. We've released a first to know list, and you can sign up on the site. We don't have speakers information or anything. We have dates. We have a design aesthetic. We have some plans and a theme. But go to the website, check it out. The design aesthetic is just off the charts. Kyle and I spent some time with our close friend of ASOTU, an adjunct designer. He was actually on staff at Congruent. His name's Ron Rabidou. And he's now like lead motion designer at Shopify, right? You know, like he outgrew us. Let's just say it that way. But he's designed like he was the one that I called in the very beginning. We were gonna have Automotive State of the Union live stream. I literally called him. It was like at nighttime. I was like, dude, because I had the idea when I was brushing my teeth. I was like, hey, I need a logo that's Automotive State of the Union. Make it look like the president. And so he had the animation going. We'll have to dig that up. The stars came like flying in. It looked so official. Yeah. It was all just, you know,
it was so good.
Make people feel like it's a thing before it's a thing.
He's been a heartbeat of the feeling of ASOTU for a long time. So.
Yeah. And his family's in the car business. Like he grew up in his uncle's Volvo dealership, and it's still actually, it's only, I didn't know if I told you this, Kyle. Yeah. It's a mile from my building. His uncle's Volvo dealership. Yeah,
now it makes even more sense.
Yeah, that's why he's like grew up in the car, but his cousin that he grew up with, Brian, the same age, right? He's a dealer. He moved to the West Coast. Yeah,
he like gets it. Yeah,
it's in the blood. It's in the blood.
In the blood.
We got a ASOTU webinar, a ASOTU Edge quick shot webinar coming up in just under 2 weeks. We have our friend Jim Ganther from Mosaic talking about what's going on with the cars rule. It's bubbling under the surface right now. It's going to come back up. You should know what's going on. You should be ready for it. And if not, just hang out with us and have some fun. We'll heckle Jim in the comments if we can. He can handle it. So just go to ASOTU.com and make sure you sign up for the webinar so you can join the fun in a couple weeks here. Some news?
There you go. Let's do some news.
It's earning train time. It's really fun. Especially there's like a lot of different information coming out, you know, from all the sides and the OEMs, but not everybody can be GM. Let's just put it there. As Ford's income dropped 4.5% to $1.8 billion despite a revenue increase. So GM had like the opposite problem, or not the opposite benefit. Ford is the opposite problem. So their revenue increased 6.4%. Income dropped 4.5%. You know, but the revenue's up because of strong commercial vehicle sales. Meanwhile, on the Stellantis side, their net income plummeted 48% to 5.6 billion. Is that euros? In the first half of 2024, with operating margins falling below 10%. So Yikes. So back to Ford, they're adjusting earnings are down. CFO John Lawler cited $800 million in increased warranty expenses due to some older vehicle recalls. The Ford Pro division, $2.6 billion in earnings and 15.1% profit margins. Love that fleet business. The Model E unit still reporting a loss, $1.1 billion for the quarter. So there's still a little bit of a little hole in the boat over there. They're trying to figure out. Stellantis struggled the most in North America, including an 18% shipment decline and a lot of pricing pressure. Obviously, we know what the inventory situation is. CFO Natalie Knight of Stellantis said there are operational issues we have had in North America where I think we could have performed stronger, talking about things like volume output, price cuts, inventory reductions, cost-saving initiatives, right? All the things. So everybody's kind of playing a little bit of a different chess game right now, across the major OEMs.
You know, I think anybody that's in the industry that has been watching Stellantis' inventory grow over the past like 9 to 12 months potentially could have predicted this in the US, right? They overbloated inventory on dealership slots. You know, I don't know what that inventory looks like, right? Is it the right inventory? Maybe that's one of the issues where the production actually wasn't matching the demand. So, you know, this, I don't know what all of the factors that they're pointing to, when it comes to like cost saving initiatives, obviously they had this big, some of the recall issues. The recalls were Ford, sorry, but for still, it's like bloat inventory equals, mismatch to demand.
Margins are going. Yeah.
Margins are going. Dealers are accepting less inventory and less throughput on the wholesale side of the business. So, I'm kind of not surprised. It has to hurt to be Ford and Stellantis to come on, day 2 of earnings week after Tesla and GM come swinging.
It's one of those ones where you wish the earnings calls were in the opposite order, right?
Yeah, right. Like you get the ramp up.
Somebody sets the high bar and then you come in and like, well, I don't know, but it's quarter to quarter. You know what I mean? Like things could turn around, and that's the nice thing about this business. And we'll see what demand does. We'll see what Q3 does rolling into back to school time. And we'll see. I mean, this is the long game.
It's the long game. As media and industry reporters, we got to let you know what's going on this, but we still go back to the fact. It's the news. We still go back to the fact that a lot of what the OEM is doing and whether or not their margins are good doesn't change the fact that you can make your own economy, drive your own results, through marketing, through inventory management strategies, not have to worry about what the global brand is doing and still be profitable at a local level. So that's the benefit of the franchise system.
Yeah, I wish I had a good segue there. I just couldn't pull one out. But we're going to move on to GM. This isn't an earnings call, but GM's Ultium vehicles, that new power platform that they have for EVs, they faced significant issues in the past due to some build quality and safety concerns, including, remember, the fire risks leading now to buybacks. They were just saying, we'll just buy the vehicle back, right? Let's get rid of this problem by buying the vehicle back and figuring it out. Now a lot of these vehicles are re-entering the market. GM's putting them back into the market at steep discounts. So early 2023 and 2024, Blazer EVs, they had software issues. They did a stop sale. The Cadillac Lyriq was a little less publicized, their issues, but still problems with build quality. Both of those leading to a lot of buybacks from GM. They were reacquired by GM, and they are now being sold back into the market with a notification that says, quote, reacquired by manufacturer on the vehicle history report. So you can now, models like the 2024 Blazer EV, the Cadillac Lyriq, you can get significant discounts, sometimes $20,000 below the original MSRP. So you're saying like, hey, there's this Cadillac Lyriq. They started selling these things at 60, 70, 80 grand. Now you can get one for almost like 40 grand, and it probably only has like 1,000 miles on it or 2,000 miles on it.
Man, if I'm interested in one of these vehicles, I don't even care. I'm taking advantage of this savings because that's an even greater savings than buying these probably on the used car market right now.
And it's not like buying an unproved, like not to pour salt in the wound, but it's not like buying a Fisker, right? Where it's a new vehicle that has to be proven. Yes. No, GM's going to be there to issue the warranty's going to hold up well. I know. Have you ever seen a Cadillac Lyriq?
They're tight.
Oh my goodness.
They look dope.
When you get in the cockpit of that, you're like, this is a sweet car. I haven't driven one.
Now I'm like, maybe I'm a Cadillac guy. 20,000 off a $60,000 vehicle.
Dude, I could see that.
I might be a Cadillac guy soon.
The Cadillac Lyriq is like I feel like
it's not a Cadillac. It's like
no, when you look at it, it's kind of like who's the driver for that? And I can't put my finger on like who is the driver of this. I think it could go a number of directions.
Right.
Depending on how you rock it. Brian Ortega says in the comment, call it the Best Buy open box sale.
Look, which open box at Best Buy has got to be the greatest thing since sliced bread.
That's the first place I go, right?
Every time.
Look at the bottom shelf. Like, where's the sticker? Okay.
It's probably fine. It's got a little scratch on the underbelly.
I know, but let us know what you think. Would you buy a reacquired by GM vehicle personally?
Would you do it?
Personally, I would. I would. Especially because the warranty is going to be tight, and they're going to be. I'm
thinking about being a Lyriq guy right now. Haven't even ever thought of that.
He's searching it right now. It's a sweet vehicle. The range still isn't great though. The range isn't great.
It's not.
I know. Speaking of getting there, and range, range is good.
Oh man, this one will get some people right in the feels. But Southwest Airlines is starting to make significant changes by moving away from its 50-year-old policy of open seating.
Whoa.
The airline will soon introduce, as of Valentine's Day next year, seating and premium options with extra legroom, aiming to appeal to a broader range of passengers and enhance profitability. There has been testing taking place, including simulations, employee trials, And even just like working on whether or not a new boarding process with boarding priorities different than just 1 through 60 would not slow down operations. If you know anything about that, you know that a Southwest flight basically boards in about 8 minutes less than a Delta or an American Airlines or a United flight for a full flight. The changes come as Southwest faces profitability challenges and competition from rivals with more extensive networks and high-end offerings. CEO Bob Jordan shared that he expects to generate over $1 billion in additional revenue selling extras like those that allow passengers to board sooner. He said it's the right change at the right time. It also, the article states where the first flights will be headed from. And I'm just proud of this little list, right? So one of them is LA to Nashville, right? These people, they're fancy. We're fancy in Nashville, right? If you're coming to Nashville, you pay that little extra money.
But if you're flying Southwest, it's kind of like public transportation to the skies, as Jim Cook said. You're still riding the bus.
It's not Spirit. It's not Spirit. Okay.
Does that go LA to Nashville?
I don't know where Spirit goes.
I
try not to know.
That's a long flight on Spirit right there.
That's a long flight on cardboard, baby. The other places, which this will be interesting for ASOTU CON attendees.
Yes.
Las Vegas to Baltimore, Los Angeles to Baltimore, and Phoenix to Baltimore.
Let's get going, West Coast.
With a little bit of love.
I love that very, very much. We need West Coast to Baltimore because all roads lead to ASOTU CON in 2025. All right, my thinking on I like how it's like they've run employee simulations. It's like they have simulations for like group boarding. It's called every other airline, right? Like it's not an experimental thing. I am really split. You've been a Southwest person for a long time. And right when you and I started like spending more time together, you're like, Southwest is the best, Southwest is the best. And then I flew Southwest a couple times because it finally came to Syracuse. And I was like, I haven't had the greatest experience. And then like it took about a year for you to be like, yeah, it's definitely lost its mojo. I think the best years are behind us. And I was like, dang it.
Yeah, it for sure did. I think
there's still some charm though. Like there's still some Southwest charm with the flight attendants and the pilots.
Flight attendants mostly still have a little bit of more leeway on like having some fun with the calls.
Yeah, they've had a few rough years. It's hard to keep that mentality. But
it's tough. Yeah.
I'm a fan of it being able to pick being able to know your seat before you get on. I understand why they did it in history, right? It is more efficient to board, right? And they were like really squeezing things together. They only did direct flights in the beginning, and that is how they turned planes so fast. Is that boarding model? Some people love it. I don't love it because there have been times where like you get to the gate, you're transferring, you're like running late, and now you're stuck. You could have had boarding position A7, and it doesn't matter. Yeah. You are like center row, aisle, row 28.
That's right.
Center seat. So I like just knowing. Right. I'd rather pay a little bit more in the beginning to know where my seat's going to be and know that it's where I'm going to be. I wonder if they're going to reconfigure the seating or they're just going to charge more for exit rows.
I think they're going to reconfigure the seating. I bet you they're going to have like a front seat that has a little bit more leg.
It makes sense. There's a lot of profit to be made in those upsells.
Yeah. I mean, you pull one row, but you can charge so significantly more for
like the 6 rows. Yeah. Whatever.
Out of that one row.
Yeah. I don't know. Let us know what you think in the comments. Are you Southwest fans? You like knowing your thing? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's a Thursday. It's a beautiful day. It's in the summer. Dog days of summer. You can get out there, sell some cars, love some people. We will see you back here tomorrow.